deadly shooting near Armory Square yesterday is being investigated as road rage gone incredibly violent.
The man who was shot and killed was identified as 61-year-old Ezell Hicks Jr. Authorities have not yet named the shooter, but say he is 43 years old, was in a different car, and did have a legal permit to have a gun. It happened just before 4:30 yesterday afternoon on West and Fayette Streets near Armory Square. At the crime scene, a knife, a pool of blood in that taped-off area. Gary Robinson Jr. is live there for us tonight. Gary?
Yeah, Matt, we asked all the questions you could think of and learned some from their answers, with the DA deciding to present this case to a grand jury to review, to consider charges. And both Mayor Walsh and Chief Cecil were careful what to say and what not to say. Joseph Cecil was brief with details on the shooting near Armory Square, but he did say it escalated to violence because of road rage, something that can always be prevented.
There's all kinds of ways to resolve this without it coming to this. Drive on, don't get into a dispute to begin with.
Unfortunately, it, I think, is emblematic of a problem that we have as a society, which is people not being able to resolve their conflicts peacefully.
The shooting happened near Armory Square, a busy portion of downtown, with restaurants, bars, and other nightlife entertainment. Mayor Ben Walsh says people should not be worried about safety, as this seems to be a very isolated and targeted incident.
This could happen anywhere, and it happened to take place yesterday at that intersection.
It had no nexus whatsoever to Armory Square or the near West Side neighborhood. It could happen anywhere, as the mayor said.
We wanted to know more from Chief Cecil about who called 911, what specifically led up to the violent encounter, any criminal history for either men, and if the shooter was a past, present, retired, or off-duty law enforcement officer.
But again, I'm not going to dip into that because I don't want to jeopardize the grand jury by saying anything.
And Cecil did tell us that the shooter gave his gun to officers voluntarily. He is not in custody, and he has not been charged with any crimes at the moment. The DA's office is looking to go through all the evidence and let a grand jury decide if the shooter committed a crime or not. Reporting in Syracuse, I'm Gary Robinson Jr.
Thank you, Gary. We'll continue to follow that story with team coverage right now. In fact, police are releasing limited information about the shooter and the deadly road rage incident that happened near Armory Square.
The incident raises concerns around downtown. Connor White is live from the scene for us tonight. Connor?
Megan, Matt, this is the typical traffic pattern at this intersection on a weekday. Somewhat busy, nothing too intense. The shooting happening right there where those cars are starting to come to a stop. We've heard from witnesses that the actual road rage involved started around a half a mile from here. Around 4:30 p.m. Wednesday, police lights and blood mark the intersection of West and Fayette Street in Syracuse. Flintstone General Manager Tim Spillett could see the scene from his office in the Armory Square business. What he learned minutes later is one of his delivery drivers was much closer. Spillett says their employee was heading east on Fayette behind the two drivers involved in what investigators describe as a deadly road rage incident.
They were cutting each other off continuously down Fayette Street and kind of yelling at each other. And then the car in front kind of slammed on its brakes and pulled over to the side near the intersection.
From there, the delivery driver says that man got out of his car and approached the other with a knife. The second driver shot and killed him. The Onondaga County District Attorney's Office says the 43-year-old shooter had a legal pistol permit. Police say he cooperated at the scene. He surrendered his firearm to authorities and is not under arrest or facing any charges, but a grand jury will now review the case. The dead man, armed with the knife, is identified as 61-year-old Ezell Hicks Jr. All of this happening just outside a downtown Syracuse University building.
I was actually kind of scared because the people in the warehouse had no idea that it was a shooting, and that could have been really dangerous to the students.
Officials are reminding the public that this was an isolated incident between those two drivers, and there's no further threat to the general area. Reporting in Syracuse, I'm Connor White.
Still scary for people to think about happening in broad daylight, Connor.
Certainly did. Thank you, Connor.